you? Yeah, let me just open that page. So today I'm talking to Kristin and Gina. Gina Hockey is the go-to person for those that want to become find a kick-ass virtual assistant. She's the founder of hockeyhandbook.com and the creator of 30 Days or Less to Freelance Writing Success and 30 Days or Less to Virtual Assistant Success. Her best-selling online courses have taught thousands of students how to start and grow freelance businesses from scratch. Gina built her own successful freelance writing and virtual assistant business in less than 6 months while working full time and being a mama to two toddlers. She was able to earn more than $4,000 in a single month just as a side hustle. Kristen Larson is the go to Pinterest person speaking at and conducting in person workshops at conferences and groups across the United States. She's also a Tailwind ambassador and official Pinterest partner, founder of believeinaBudget.com and creator of Pinterest Presence and Side Hustle to Success. Her courses have helped thousands of entrepreneurs learn how to side hustle, launch a blog or business, and master Pinterest. In 2015, as a new freelancer, Kristen launched a successful Pinterest management company that has today helped over 100 bloggers, online business owners, and brick and mortar shops experience explosive growth on Pinterest. Within her first 6 months, and in addition to her first full-time job, Kristen averaged $3,600 a month from her role as a Pinterest manager and blogger, just as a side hustle. So Gina and Kristen, that's really impressive. And it gives a lot of hope to people who are looking, I think, for a side hustle or looking for a new career, right?
Yeah, that sure makes us sound good. And it's not that long ago, but it feels a long time ago, right? But we were in the throes of building these service-based businesses not that long ago. It was 5-6 years. And it's been really fun to teach people how to do the same thing and create some space in their lives too.
Yeah. So tell us, Kristen, what is a Pinterest virtual assistant and what do they do?
So a Pinterest virtual assistant is someone that works online or works remotely. It could be from your home, while traveling, anywhere in the world. And you get to help businesses grow their marketing on the Pinterest platform. So you don't actually work for Pinterest, but you get to work with all these bloggers or businesses that want to be on Pinterest and want to learn how to get traffic to their website from Pinterest.
Right. Okay, that sounds really interesting. I love Pinterest, frankly, because I use it and it gets me a lot of traffic. But Kristen, how did you get your start as a Pinterest VA?
Yeah, so it was actually back when I was starting my blog back in 2015, which, like Gina said, seems like forever ago, but at the same time feels like yesterday. And I launched my blog and I was really clueless. I didn't really know what I was doing. I wasn't on social media. I wasn't on Facebook. I didn't have a LinkedIn account. I could not figure out how to get traffic to my website. And then I went on Pinterest and I'd already been using it anyway. And I realized I could create these pins that people would click on and then go back to my website. And before I knew it, my traffic just exploded. I think I went from like 5,000 monthly page views to 17,000 monthly page views. And then by the end of the year, I'd gone up to over like 200,000 page views a month. So in terms of traffic, it did really well. But if I rewind a little bit, I decided I wanted to share my story on my blog. It has nothing to do, my blog has nothing to do with Pinterest or that kind of stuff. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to share my lesson and show people that, you know what, Pinterest can be a really powerful platform for your business, regardless of what business it is. Yeah. And then within about a week of publishing that case study I wrote, I had a couple bloggers reach out to me and say, you know what, this is awesome. Can I hire you to help me with my Pinterest? And I was like, I didn't think that was a thing. I didn't know it existed. I couldn't find anyone else doing it. And so I said, sure, I'm going to call myself a Pinterest virtual assistant and I would love to work with you. And I just kind of went for it. And from there, my Pinterest VA career just kind of exploded.
Enough so that you got to leave your job behind, which is really cool, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. So yeah, between launching my blog and then the blog was slow rolling for me. A blog can be a great thing long-term. It takes time to build it up, but being a Pinterest VA helped me make more income faster to be able to afford to leave my day job. So between the blogging, which was slow rolling, Pinterest VA, which was really, really growing, I was able to walk away with my job within like 9 or 10 months.
Wow, that's awesome. That's fantastic, and then that's a real message of hope, especially today when people are so stressed out about whether they're going to have their jobs or not. You know, at the end of these, in a short while, probably a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. So I think that's a message of hope, because it tells them that they can probably, still work from home, or they can pick up on pick up a side hustle and make a living, make a good living out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we
I
were
think
talking.
Gina would have, I was gonna say, I think Gina would agree with me that the virtual assistant field is just so powerful and how quickly you can grow. Especially with Gina having so much experience as a virtual assistant on her side as well, and helping thousands of students on her end. She's just seen the results with all kinds of VAs, but especially even with Pinterest VAs.
Yeah.
I was just going to add, with these kind of challenging economic times, I think that there's going to be a few different shifts that come out of it. If people are choosing hope rather than fear, they can utilize this extra time that they have on their hands, whether they're furloughed or temporarily laid off, or if they end up losing their job, to learn new skills and invest in themselves, whether it's Pinterest or something else. And then I think a lot of business owners will rebuild their businesses differently going forward. And it might be that they end up taking on more part-time kind of contractor-based help rather than hiring full-time employees in-house to do certain things like marketing, which is what Pinterest is all about and what we're teaching people to do. So I think it's a really key time for people to really think about what they want to be when they grow up, or what they want to be next, and figure out, okay, what should I do to invest in myself and learn new skills to make me more marketable, both in corporate America or whatever the equivalent is in India. And then also, for being a freelancer or a contractor or being self-employed. So not all companies are being challenged in the same way right now either. I know in our business, this is actually a time of growth, and we're not alone in that. So there are companies that are actually scaling and growing and hiring. And there are other businesses that are just trying to survive right now. And you can really help both sides of that, because the businesses that are just trying to survive, they're innovating and they're figuring out, how else can we get our message out there? How can we get in front of our target market and ideal customers? And Pinterest can be a way for them to do that if they haven't been until now. So maybe they'll be redirecting marketing budgets and the way that they do things. And then we're all shopping online more than ever before in our whole lives. Like, we thought we shopped online before. That was nothing compared to what's going on right now. And Pinterest is this visual search engine where people go to actually shop and spend money. Not everybody knows that about it. So I just want to make sure we made those points.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And I think a lot of industries like travel, for instance, travel is very hot on Pinterest, right? And that's one of the industries which is struggling right now. So I think
100%.
giving them a boost with Pinterest can really help, right? In the coming months, in the months ahead, when they when they're going to bounce back. So
with travel, that's a really interesting topic, because we have seen, from a Pinterest VA side of things, we have seen some businesses struggling with travel. They don't know what to do. They are used to either booking, being like travel planners, or they're used to working in that capacity and things are on hold. But then we've seen some other travel planners actually switch, and they're trying to help you plan for different things. So they might be coming out with products they can sell that teach you like how to pack your suitcase properly, like a checklist, like different little products that they can offer to sell you that you can use now or down the road, versus just being a travel planner. So they're really trying to pivot and think, okay, what can I give my audience right now that they might benefit from in the future as well? So it's just, again, is it a company that's going to learn how to thrive through this, or are they just going to try to just survive, which is totally fine. Sometimes surviving is just where we need to be. But some of these companies are really learning how to pivot and figure out how to help their audience even more.
And a big part of that is repositioning their products, right? So there's somebody that we actually have in a mastermind group that we're a part of that has a travel like suitcase packer. It's like a physical product. And so when we were all together before all of this hit, she was knowing that it was coming and how it would impact her business. So we were brainstorming different ways that you could use that same product. So in a diaper bag or in your car or in like the stroller, all these different things. And I think the savvy people that might be tuning into this are going to see this again as an opportunity of, okay, how do I come along these maybe struggling business owners and just start a conversation, a dialogue around what are kind of your pain points right now and the fears that you have for your business. And maybe you're creative enough to brainstorm some of these unique positioning ideas for products that they currently have that aren't really working in the current marketplace, but you could put a spin on it and use it for a different purpose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to play the long game, right? It's not a short-term thing. Pinterest is a search engine, so you have to play the long game on Pinterest, and if you think a few months ahead of,
Right.
planning your campaigns and
Yes.
stuff like that, right? So tell me, how did you two get together? I mean, I'm really interested to know about that, to know the
Yeah,
story.
so when I was growing my Pinterest management company, I actually had been reading Gina's website for a while. I decided, I checked her out. I was always following when she was publishing the next article or post. And I realized, I saw her on Facebook, I saw her on Twitter, but I didn't see like a little Pinterest icon like on her website. And she might have had it, but I don't know if she wasn't really utilizing it. I can't remember, but I just pitched her really nicely and said, hey, I love what you're doing on Facebook. I love what you're doing on Twitter. Do you have any interest in seeing how you could do on Pinterest? And Gina actually came back. It was the end of the year, so it was kind of like a odd season. I don't know why I was pitching during the holidays. So weird.
Because you're always marketing, and that's what
January. Yes,
people should
probably
do.
What it was. But Gina came back to me and said, "Oh, I haven't even thought about something like this. Let me sit on it, and will you follow up with me in like a month?" And I said, "Sure." So I wrote it down in my planner. Followed up with her in a month and say, "Hey, I just wanted to revisit this and see if you're interested still." And she was. And we started working together and became best friends because we didn't really have a real relationship. And
Not before then.
No, became clients, then became good friends. And then we launched PVA like a year later after getting to know each other and seeing what was missing in the marketplace
Right.
and a need for helping other people. And that was it.
So you missed the part about the fact that I was on Pinterest, but I wasn't really on Pinterest. And then Kristin swooped in and she like exploded traffic and growth on that platform for Horky Handbook, which is amazing. So that was in there. Like you totally kicked ass on our behalf. Don't miss that part.
Oh, that's
Then
awesome.
based on, the interaction and the relationship that we were building, we came up with this idea. And it's so fun to think about December of 2015.
Oh my gosh.
This random email comes into my inbox. And like how much that's changed the trajectory of my business and of my life and yours as a result. Like I was just talking with a team member yesterday about how there's just those points in time where you can remember exactly where you are when you made a certain decision that felt small at that time. And then you look back and you're like, holy crap, if I wouldn't have done that, like, you know what I mean? So it's fun because it's almost 4 years ago that we launched the program. We've known each other now for 5 years. We've met in person. We can't do that right now several times. And we just keep, further making our place within this niche. And we have a lot of fun watching people succeed and kind of recreate what we did and transition their lives as a result.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds, it's fantastic when you meet like that and you make a friend for life. It's pretty awesome, right?
Well, and totally. The other part that I would add to that too, though, is that there's a million other business owners that haven't received that email that Kristin sent me that aren't on Pinterest and they're not thinking even about that part and potential for their business. So like, that's an easy marketing strategy right there, is just popping into somebody's inbox that you kind of are following along with, right? And pitching them on a specific service. So
Oh
anyways.
yeah, that's awesome. So tell me a little bit about what kind of services a Pinterest VA can offer.
Yeah, so we offer 9 different services inside the program. Some of the ones we talk about specifically would be like pin design. Pin design is absolutely crucial if you're going to be on Pinterest. every year Pinterest comes out with a list of like their best practices that they really want bloggers and business owners to take, to really just listen to. And one of them was pin design. So one of the things Pinterest VA can offer is learning how to create pins. That can be the graphic side of things, and it can also be the SEO side of things. Like you said earlier, that we totally agree with, is that Pinterest is like an SEO visual search engine. So there's so much more that goes into creating just a pretty pin. It's learning about, which is like almost like another service, which is figuring out like, how do you use SEO on Pinterest? Like, how do you do this research? How do you find these magical keywords so people will find your pin? So those are like a couple of the services. Other services we offer would be like, consulting, auditing. That might be more of an advanced skill, but it's something you definitely need to learn so you can help clients out. What about you, Gina? Any other?
I was just thinking like everything from the basics of getting somebody set up on Pinterest, and then we use Tailwind as our preferred scheduling tool, which you mentioned in the bio that Kristin is a Tailwind ambassador. So that means that we get to learn all of the things first, which is awesome. And then we get to share that with our community. They also do like special trainings and stuff with us, which just helps keep us up to date and make sure that our students are armed with the most powerful, timely information as possible. And then the other thing that I feel like you need to brag about more, Kristin, is that she's got an interior design background. And so she does all of like the pin design training and stuff like that for the course, because she knows innately what looks good and what does well with the kind of general population. And you were able to break down that stuff really easily so people understand, like one of the things that blew my mind, and it seems like a small thing, but it's not when you realize kind of the weight that it has, is like you could use a stock photo or a stock image just as it is. But like Kristin teaches in one part of the program, just how to manipulate that photo so that you have the perfect piece of it to make sure, A, that it's different than other things that people are seeing, but super, super like pretty and engaging to the human eye. But then also that it creates the right white space and just how you can add text to it if that's what you're choosing to do for your pin and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons I think that you did so well as a Pinterest manager, is that you were really great with pin design. And then going back to how I was answering the question, because I lost my train of thought, you can go from setting somebody up on Pinterest for the very first time to working with somebody that's already on Pinterest, kind of like I was, that isn't maximizing their presence and their efforts on the platform. Yeah. Or you can take over an account that's already doing really well with a client, but the client doesn't have the time or the bandwidth or the desire to do it themselves anymore. So they need to focus on what it is that they do best, which is usually creating products or selling services, doing that part of their business, and getting the word out is kind of more of your job.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So tell us about your program, Become a Pinterest VA Today, and how does it help students?
Yeah, well, one, we're really excited because we've just finished a massive, not overhaul, but massive, we take a lot of pride in making sure our material is always up to date for our students, because the more up to date they are, the more they can help their clients. So that's been a massive undertaking, is to make sure we just are providing the best content possible for them to learn how to land their first 2 or 3 clients within 30 to 60 days. So our goal is to really teach them, things like the tech training. How do they use each of these platforms in a really easy way that makes sense for them, so they're not going to have any roadblocks. Nothing's going to be too challenging. So that's been really, really great that we've kind of condensed inside the program. We go over all 9 different services you can offer in like really specific detail, along with pricing, because that can be intimidating too when you're just starting out, especially if you're a beginner. So we go over, different types of packages you can offer, and why it's important to customize each package for each client, because no 2 clients are the same. And then on top of that, pitching templates. Gina, we talk about, you're really
get
great
hired,
at this part.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we've done a really great job recently. Like you said, we just had this revamp, and our goal is to make sure that it's up to date, that it's easy to follow, and that you learn the hard skills that you need in order to offer these services to your clients. But then we also work in how to start a freelance business. If you've never done this, if you've never worked for yourself and contracted out services, that's totally in the course. And then how to land clients and work with them. So we teach you how to market your Pinterest marketing skills and services, right? So it kind of covers everything within one program, which was our goal, but we've streamlined it to the place that we don't want you to get hung up on any specific area. So we used to teach like how to, build a basic website that was just offering your services. And we've actually removed that, and we'll probably add it back in as like a bonus, kind of as a, as you get started building your business and you're ready to scale and take things to the next level, that will enter the equation again. But it's not necessary if you're not working with any clients. And what we found with working with students over the last 4 or 5 years is that like there's certain things that slow them down. And while they are valuable, they're not necessary to landing those first few clients. So let's instead focus on some simpler alternatives. And we've created all of these templates within the Canva platform. And Canva is a free tool. It's a nominal upgrade to their paid platform as well. And you can use these templates as just turnkey for showcasing your services. We've got one for creating reports and creating proposals to give to a client or a prospective client before they decide to hire you. So we've totally made it like step-by-step and turnkey, exactly what you need to get started today, like literally if you wanted to. And then, take all of the guesswork out of it. So it's all just like step-by-step ready for you to get going.
But awesome. On top of that, I have to keep going, Priya, because I'm really excited, is in addition to making all these updates, we've come out with this brand new PVA Accelerator, which is like an 8-week companion course. If you say, I don't know if I would use the word course, but it's a companion piece. And how it works is once you enroll in the program, every single week you're going to get dripped out material that's going to really help you stay focused, understand the lessons before you kind of just jump in, get all over the place. And we want to make sure everyone really understands what's going on. So we're going to have video trainings going over specific lessons, so it's in more detail. We have an office hours that we'll be doing. So we don't just have you enroll in the program and we disappear. Like we are so invested in our students. We want to make sure they succeed. We love having office hours and being attainable. There's nothing worse when you enroll in a program and then the person that you've been watching just kind of goes away. So we want to make sure we're totally there for our students by offering this, the PVA Accelerator.
And the idea behind it came from like, how do we keep people accountable to a timeline if that's what they're looking for? So this is a do-it-yourself, self-paced course that you can go through when you enroll in the actual program, all of it, this weekend if you wanted to. You can stretch it out over several months or a year, and you can always revisit it in the future. So when we talk about making all these upgrades, all of our current or previous students, they get it for free, which is great. But we were thinking, like, how do we keep people accountable to not only just enrolling, but then breaking it down into like an 8-week or like a 60-day time frame from going from 0 to landing those first 2 clients or 3 clients. And so that's where this companion piece comes along. It's additional like conversations between Kristin and I about the very important things for that week. And then we'll assign you like some homework so you can go put it into practice, because your goal is to build those hard skills and land the clients by the time that you're done. So we're super excited about it for sure.
So you teach them how to actually land clients, right? And so tell us a little bit more about that, and how much can someone actually earn from the as a Pinterest VA?
Yeah, I'll tackle like the first part. So when it comes to landing clients, we go over really specific strategies about where to find clients. So right now, especially at this time, we're probably going to focus more on finding clients that are online versus someone that might be local, since, things are a little different right now. But looking for an online business that is successful is really helpful. One of our red flags is we love working with businesses that might be new, but they might not have any money to pay you as a Pinterest VA. And that's so hard. But we really want to focus on businesses that are, really set up online. You can tell they're selling products, whether it's digital products or physical products. That's such a great place to start. You might not want to start with, some top big company you see on billboards, but you might want to trickle it down and go a little bit lower and, look for shops that are, that look like, they are on Facebook or they are on Twitter, but then see, are they on Pinterest? And that's such an easy in to start trying to research and look for these business owners.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Instagram is huge too, right? A lot of people that do
Yes.
well on Instagram will do really well on Pinterest, but it's funny how people choose Instagram, but then they don't add on the Pinterest component for one reason or another. Probably could be time. It could be like not wanting to learn another platform to master. Like there's a lot of reasons for that, but that's an easy kind of hint for you guys too. As far as like how much money that they can make, you know, it's going to depend based on your own level of experience and expertise. So if you're already a virtual assistant and you're killing it at different services, so maybe you're doing content creation and you're already optimizing that content for SEO, like you probably are a little further along and you could add a lot more value to a client right away. Or you also have to take into account what the client's needs are. So are they kind of just getting started, or do they have this established business that has multiple products and product lines? And so they need like a lot of, we'll say, effort on their Pinterest behalf and in working with their account. So anywhere from a few $100s a month on up to over $1,000 for those larger clients. And if you're doing monthly services, either with growth or trying to maintain their account, that's going to be a reoccurring month after month service. There's different ways that you can get started working with somebody, which I think a lot of business owners would be more open to right now. Is sometimes we might be a little worried about taking on another like recurring bill or expense in our company. So there's great ways for you to do like an audit to get started, like we talked about before, where it's more of like a project-based fee, or maybe you're doing pin design in bulk, so you're creating 50 new pins for them. And we cover the specific pricing within the course, but there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to earn, you know, $1,000 to $2,000 a month working with a handful of clients long term.
Right. That's a pretty decent income, especially for someone in my neck of the woods, right? So yeah, I mean, a lot of women would love to make that kind of income, and women love Pinterest. So I think for them, it's like playing on Pinterest, right?
If you don't like it, you probably shouldn't do it for a living, right? Like we're both big proponents of why not get paid to do stuff you like doing for people that you enjoy. And you're going to be the most successful Pinterest virtual assistant if you find companies that you already believe in, that you want to help market their businesses on this platform. It's like a no-brainer.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to say that you can work with clients from anywhere. So we have a ton of students that are from all across the world, and they have clients all across the world. So you could be based in India, but you might have a client in Australia or the United States, or vice versa. So there really is no limitation on who you can work with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the internet makes it all possible. So tell us what are the requirements for a good Pinterest VA in the sense, is there anything required in the terms of temperament, or you know, a skill besides the skills required, of course?
I think all the skills are learned. There's something for everyone when it comes to like the creatives or the analytic types. So analytics might geek out over like SEO and more of like the scheduling aspects, whereas the creatives will definitely be drawn to like the pin design. We recommend that everybody try everything, because you might be surprised at what you find that you actually enjoy or get really good at. So my sister has taken over our Pinterest account for Horky Handbook, because Kristin doesn't do it anymore. She's too big of a no, but neither one of us are offering services anymore. It doesn't make sense in our current businesses. But she gets so excited. Like she will randomly send me like a Google Hangout message or a text message or whatever. And she's like, I just posted this pin and look at how many click-throughs we have. And then I posted this pin and it hasn't done anything. And so it's like this big like experimentation phase. And she really gets into kind of the fact of what naturally does well on the Pinterest platform. And that's also something that we cover in the course, is we talk about organic Pinterest efforts, and then we talk about paid advertising, which is now an option within the promoted pins that people can do too. And we give our preview to that because that's obviously more of an advanced skill set. So we talk about what it looks like and help people to kind of get started experimenting with that with their clients as well. What did I like? There was a question that I think I just totally walked away from.
I was just
I was gonna say proactive. You like solving problems. So it's always great to be able to dive into someone's account and think, how can you help them? And you have to like find joy with that. Because you also kind of get to pick your clients. You know, maybe in the beginning, you work with a few clients to figure out like, who are you really interested in working with? What do you like doing? So I think that's really important. I think you've got to be good at communication. The great thing about being a Pinterest VA that differs from other virtual assistant work is that it's not really time sensitive. So you do have the flexibility to work at a time that's convenient for you, because it's not really like live time like Twitter could be, or responding to Facebook comments. So time management, I guess that would be another one. So just saying, dedicating an X amount of hours per week to work on your clients' accounts is helpful. So I guess organization would fall into that as well. So I think those are some really good ones that I think people kind of know right away if you have those traits, or you might not have them yet.
I think
you can get better at them with practice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, does good design sense, aesthetic sense matter a lot? Or can you learn that?
No, you can learn.
You can learn
teach it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And part of that also is like, you might think that something is going to do really good, but that's where like putting it out there and seeing how the Pinterest users actually interact with it. Like I was just talking about with my sister and what she thinks will do good and doesn't. Just because like she might do a really great design doesn't mean it's going to always do well on Pinterest. So we do a lot of what's called split testing so that you can figure that out. And that's going to maybe be different for each client that you have as well, which I think makes it fun. Is because it's a constant challenge and it's constantly changing. So being okay with change is probably a good thing, and being like eager to learn new things is also really helpful. And just so that I make sure to cover it, one of the great things about breaking into this type of work is that you're going to learn these hard skills that you can start your business around. It can be an entry point for you into working from home, into online business. So it's not necessarily where you're going to end your journey. So Chris and I both got started offering services. Hers were around Pinterest management and marketing, and mine started out with freelance writing and then customer service and things like that. Those were both like doors into the next phase of our businesses. And again, like we can look back at those points in time where we made certain decisions to invest in ourselves and learn new skills. And it's just awesome because we never stopped learning. We never stopped, saying yes to new opportunities and things like that too. So when you're thinking about whether or not this is right for you, think about, do I love Pinterest? Am I willing to like put in the effort to learn these hard skills and give myself the opportunity to land these clients and to help them grow their businesses and getting paid in return? And then do I have more of a growth mindset and a long-term vision of seeing where this could potentially take me? So not only can you get started with these Pinterest services, as soon as you land clients, if you are proactive, if you are a problem solver, you can find other ways to help their businesses grow. And they will oftentimes teach you new skills based on the fact that you're already working with them. And it's so much easier for them to give you additional work and responsibilities than it is to go and find somebody else to hire. They already know, like, and trust you. So it's just like, it's awesome. Anyways,
yeah, it's
we
a
get really
no-brainer.
excited.
It's like a no-brainer to get the same person, to teach the same person new skills, right? Especially when you've got a relationship going with them already, right? That matters a lot. So tell me, I mean, what do you think with all the stuff going on in the world today, and people talking about recession? Are people still hiring, Pinterest virtual assistants and hiring online? Are they still looking to do that?
Yeah, so one of the things that we haven't talked about is that after that kind of initial 8 weeks, we'll invite you guys to join, if you're a student of ours, to our Pinterest post community. And that's housed on Facebook, which offers live office hours on a regular basis. So you can ask us questions, you can post in the community to kind of troubleshoot as you're working with clients or anything else that you encounter when it comes to growing your business. And then we actually share client leads in there. So we're marketing on our students' behalf, which is kind of cool. You won't find many course creators that do that, that not only teach you like the hard skills of what to offer in these services, how to launch your business and how to grow it from there, but then we actually market on our clients or our students' behalf so that we can help them to get hired by people that are actively looking for help. And we've had leads continue to come in during this time. And I think it just goes back to the conversation we had a little bit earlier, that some businesses are struggling just to survive this period of time, but others are thriving, and you just have to figure out which businesses those are. Others are maybe in the middle and they're looking to make some changes based on the fact that they need to maybe cut back in this area, but they see that they can spend still some money over here marketing on this platform. So I have an abundance mindset. I know that Kristin does too. I think it's very possible to still succeed during these times. There's so many businesses, if you look back in history. I mean, there's the Spanish flu, there's the Great Depression, there's the Great Recession, there's the oil crisis of the 70s. There's a ton of really big businesses that started in those exact time periods. Yeah. And so I think we need to just look at history a little bit to say, hey, this is possible. This is the time, again, to learn new skills and to start a business. I fully believe that. Why not you? Why not now? Kind of thing, right?
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And I believe that things are going to get better, and you have to be positioned for growth, right? So you have to have that. You have to have an abundance mindset and position yourself for growth. So tell us, tell me, what sort of investment is required when you want to become a Pinterest VA? Because I think a lot of people might think there's a lot of stuff that you need, right? But that's not true.
Yeah, so when you enroll inside the program, we make it very clear what tools you need and what tools you don't actually before you enroll. Yeah. So the only other things you would need to invest in would be Canva, which is a free platform. Once you start, you have the option to upgrade to called Canva Pro. Yeah. It's a small fee per month, but that's something that your client pays for. And we talk about how and why inside the program. So that paid fee isn't something you would be having to really stress about. Right. Another platform you'll be using is Tailwind, which also we have a 60-day free trial that we want all of our students to use, get familiar with. And then when they start working with a client, that's also a platform their client's paying for. So really, there's not a lot of extra tools and gadgets that you need to get started as a Pinterest VA. And of course, Pinterest is free. So there's just a lot of benefits to having a really low business starting cost. I mean, 100%. If you think about how much it costs to launch a brick and mortar store, or how much it costs to buy, even certain online businesses that need inventory, like being able to be a virtual assistant in the Pinterest space is great because the fees are so low.
Yeah, I agree. I use both of those tools and I love them. Canva is my favorite graphic design tool, and I have the pro version because it's got amazing images and all the stuff is really, awesome. And Tailwind is, I just can't do without it. I mean, right. I can't manage my Pinterest account without Tailwind. So I completely agree. Those are absolutely essential investments that you have to make in your business, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as long as you have decent internet access and access to a computer, because nobody can be working from like the library, which used to be an option in person, right? And then Tailwind, your clients are going to pay for. You might decide to keep a minimal kind of fee account for yourself after that 60 days, but there's no reason that you need to if you're not like trying to actively grow another type of blog or business or something like that. Yeah. And then the Canva thing is like $10 a month. And then you build that into the fees that you're charging your clients, like Kristin said. So there's really not a lot going on. You can use like a invoicing tool, like honestly PayPal, which is free, right? Or there's other options out there. I think Wave is free. There's a whole bunch of tools and software nowadays. So yeah, it's pretty easy to get started. It's more of like that commitment when it comes to, if you want to enroll in our course, that initial investment, as well as like the commitment that I'm going to take the time to learn these skills, to practice and to get as good as I can be, because that's how you not only land clients in the first place, but that's how you get to the point of charging kind of the highest rates possible. And if you're in this for the money, then you'll want to get super good at what you do so you can charge really great rates. And on the flip side of that, you're helping your clients to make more money. So it's kind of a good deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how it works in India, but I know here in the United States, even as a like solopreneur, you're able to write off your expenses when you're investing like in your business. So for a lot of the students here, this is a business expense, investing in Canva or Tailwind is like a business expense. So as long as you're keeping track of your income and expenses, it all works out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to work on this week? Sorry, Priya, I
Yeah,
didn't
no, go,
like
go
we keep
ahead.
interrupting you because
I
we
know. We're
No,
super excited.
I was just saying, no, I was just saying I do that. I expense all my stuff, all my
nice.
software and stuff. You have to do that, right?
And
You
again,
gotta-
it's dependent on where you live in the world. But one of the things that I'm going to work on with my bookkeeper this week is like a little printable that talks about, like we're all at home right now. So if you can make a home office, you can write off a portion of your home, which is
Yeah,
kind of cool.
yeah,
And so I'm going to put together just like a little how-to, and I think we'll probably end up adding that as a bonus to the platform, to our program, if Kristen's okay with it. But how cool would that be to make your own little office, right? Which is kind of fun if you like decorating and all that kind of stuff anyways. That's your startup where you're going to do your work, which from a mindset perspective is really great. Like I'm going into this spare bedroom in my house to work. And then if it's only used for business purposes, then you can write it off. So let's say you invest in our course and then make yourself a home office. Like it's almost like a net investment at that point, as long as you earn income from actually working with clients.
yeah. That's brilliant. I think we can do that in India also, but I've got to ask my accountant about that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Cool.
it's been wonderful talking to you, and I'm going to put this up on replay because I think a lot of people don't have the bandwidth right now to attend live. So although I sent out the email 3 times, so so
Open your email, people.
yeah, no, I think everyone's a bit scattered because I can see that a lot of people are stressed out, especially in India right now, with all this COVID stuff. So I'm going to put up the replay, and I'm going to put the links to your course down below, in the YouTube, as well as the Facebook videos and everything. And so tell them, you have I think a discount coupon, right, that you're giving away for with a
We
discount
do
on your
for
course?
today only. So we only open enrollment twice a year, once in the spring,
Right.
which for us is in April, and then once in the fall. So we don't have dates yet for that for the rest of 2020. But if you were to enroll before the end of the day today here in the United States, so we're going by midnight Central Standard Time, and you use a coupon code START, and then it's $100 and I can put that in the chat to make sure you have it.
Sure. You can do that.
That is just for the end of today on the pay in full option. But we have a couple of webinars or kind of live trainings tomorrow and the next day.
I think
that
this
if you
is
go,
the link to the course.
Yep.
Yeah. So
and then you can attend those too if you feel like you still need some more information. Otherwise, it is open for enrollment through Friday of this week.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies. It's been wonderful talking to you. Actually, I've been really looking forward to meeting you at some point because I've been affiliated with you all for quite a few years. So I'm really happy that we got to meet, that we got to catch up despite the circumstances and everything. And I'm going to let you know as soon as this is up. Okay, it's probably tonight itself.
Thank you.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you,
really
and
appreciate it.
Yeah, and stay safe and stay
You too.
healthy,
You
guys.
too.
Bye.
Bye.